Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with the weekly tarot reading for the ISFP Alternates. We will be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Feminine, 8 cards from the Divine Masculine, in accordance with the 8 chakras of the human body, so that we can get a better understanding of how we can manifest our highest timelines in our life in accordance with Spirit. Before we begin, however, if you are unfamiliar with me, it's the first time you've seen my smiling face, or if you are unfamiliar with what the words things, new, self, flexible, and informative mean, I will suggest that you fall back to the video entitled Have You Been Doing MBTI Wrong? Because there is a fine chance that you have. Now that we got the cards shuffled, I do a pre-shuffle, but just to make sure that they are right, we do 2 more. We're going to draw from the base. We have the 3 of Cups. In the sacral, we have the Lovers. In the solar plexus, we have the Page of Cups in reverse. In the heart, we have the 9 of Swords in reverse. In the throat, we have the Hermit in reverse. In the third eye, we have the Emperor. In the crown, we have the Ace of Swords. And rounding out our message from the Divine Feminine on the bottom of the deck, we have the 5 of Wands. Next, we'll be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Masculine. The Divine Feminine cards, which are already on the table, tell us what the current situation is. The Divine Masculine lets us know what steps that we can actively take in order to best manifest our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. And so, we begin pulling with the Crown. In the Crown, we have the Magician in reverse. In the third eye, we have the 4 of Pentacles. In the throat, we have the 2 of Cups. In the heart, we have the Lovers. In the solar plexus, we have the Emperor in reverse. In the sacral, we have the 6 of Wands in reverse. And in the base, we have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, or standing tall, not in reverse. And then rounding out our message from the Divine Masculine on the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Cups. I was laughing because you got the Emperor here, right, twice, in opposite positions. And you also have the Lovers here twice. That is very interesting energy. All right, we begin in the base because that is base existence. Do you have a job? Do you have a home? Do you have food to eat? Do you have money? This is dealing with those things. It is also dealing with love and wrath, so you may be giving away too much affection here. You may not be receiving the affection you feel like you deserve. Neither one is exactly right. For you as an ISFP alternate, this area is going to be governed by future possibilities and foresight. You're going to have an extremely hard time recognizing new ideas, new possibilities, right? You're fairly good at choosing them when you are presented with the right ones, but you are not good at finding new ones. And so what we have today for you in the base, the current situation, the Divine Feminine energy, is a spirit of cooperation, right? This is a celebratory card. This is a working with other people card. 3s are either you're working with people or you are not. It is a learning card. 3s are always about a lesson. There is some learning to be done. This is Cups, so it's going to be emotional. Cups are familial relationships. It is spousal relationships. It is your co-working relationships, and it is your friendships. It's not about the people, but the emotional connections attached to that. Cups are about emotions. How does it make you feel? And so this is a spirit of cooperation. This is your current energy. So you are probably working in cooperation with someone. It may be some kind of a lover situation. We'll get to that in just a minute. But this is very positive, cooperative efforts. But clarifying that with steps that can be taken is a little bit of deprivation. Now, this is a challenge card. 5s are challenges. You are almost always called to rise to the challenge, but if it is in reverse, then you're not, right? So you are being called to rise to the challenge. It is standing tall. But this has to do with financial difficulty. Your current situation, despite the fact that you are cooperating, is that you do not have quite enough money, right? Or that you are shortly going to be facing not quite enough money. That might be from a wedding, right? That is some of this energy as well. We're not quite there yet, but Uh, what we see here is two people out in the cold. One of them is a cripple. One of them is wrapped up like a beggar or a leper. They are outside of this place where the guy used to be employed with the three. And they are facing deprivation. They need charity. They do not have enough. That is their challenge. Now, that might be your challenge. Your paycheck just does not stretch far enough. That's the case for a lot of people these days. But this is your energy and what you are currently being told to do. And so maybe you are spending a little bit too much money in celebration. That is definitely something that you might be prone to. We'll talk about that when we get to the crown. You like the new experiences. And so this is cooperation, but it's also celebration. They are working together, but they are all drinking together. This can be that you're spending too much money on frivolous activities, right? This is currently, you may need to spend more money. Maybe you are hoarding too much. This is the current energy, or this is the current energy that is. This is what you need to do in order to fully realize the best pathway. And so a 5 challenge is a rise to the challenge. It has to do with financial difficulty, and I can't tell you whether you're spending too much or too little, but it's probably one of the two. You're probably not saving in the right way. Next up, we're going to be moving to the sacral, and the sacral is the part that deals with physical generation. It can be a child because it is the area that deals with lust and chastity. So you may be giving away a little bit too much physical affection. You may not be receiving enough physical affection. Neither one are good intrinsically of themselves. For you as an ISFP alternate, this is going to be governed by personal thoughts and logic. What do I think about this situation? What are my thoughts in this? And you're not very good at it, right? You're really good at relying on the experts to tell you things in order for you to know what to do. You're not all that good at making decisions based upon your own logic. And again, that's not a personal thing. It's just the way that the stack falls out. Everybody's good at something. Everybody's bad at something. And you just happen to be not that great at choosing the right things, right? You're coming to a logical conclusion. The sacral and the trickster are the same energy. So often you get tricked into thinking that you do. So you think that you've got great logic, you just really don't, and it bears out in your fruit. You've got the lovers in this particular thing, and this is the current situation. Now, the lovers is the marriage card. This is the marriage card in the tarot, so you may be facing marriage, right? That is definitely something that can be in the cards for you today. It doesn't necessarily have to be, because this is also what else you want to create in your life. You envision something here, you set it into manifestation with your heart, and then you take positive steps towards that here. If you have a business you want to start, you envision it here. You get the plan together, the funding together, and you start getting the business going in your sacral. So this can be just a business partnership. It can be a sexual relationship. Because you have this lovers in your heart, which we will get to in a little while, it may be sexual, right? This is the sexual area. This is the marriage card. You have the spirit of celebration and a little bit of deprivation. You might be facing a marriage. You may be coming into a committed relationship. Now, again, this can be a business relationship. This can be a divine partnership outside of a sexual union. But what we have in what steps can be taken from the divine masculine, we've got the 6 of Wands. And the 6 of Wands is a victory card, right? This is overcoming the challenge and nurturing the energy afterwards. The 5 is the challenge. The 6 is the victory. Do you ever reach the victory? Almost. Now, you have the spirit of celebration. You have this little bit of deprivation. You have this divine partnership that probably ties into this. And then you have the victory in reverse. Now, when it is standing tall, the victory is incoming, right? You are taking steps towards victory. This guy is riding the white horse. The white horse signifies victory. He's got the wand of change, because wands are change. It is spirit, fire, life, light, logos, and change. And so he has the wand of change crowned with a laurel. And he's got a laurel on his head. This is a double victory. Everyone around him is celebrating. He is walking into in triumph, right? But you're not quite there yet. Your actions to be taken are going to lead to victory, are going to lead to overcoming and growing, but you're coming out of the challenge and walking into that, and it may be related to this divine union. Most certainly is related to it. This is a less active role, right? If this is upright, this is you going claiming victory, right? If the challenge is upright, you are rising to the challenge. This is a little bit less of that energy. This is more of a victory incoming if you continue doing what you are doing, as opposed to trying to make a significant change. Next, we're going to go to the solar plexus, and the solar plexus is what feeds you, right? This is quite literally what changes your food into fuel. It's tied to your stomach. It deals with gluttony and temperance. So you may be overtaking of the mortal coil. You may be under-consuming of the mortal coil, but neither one of those are intrinsically good of themselves, right? You are supposed to consume things. Asceticism is definitely overrated. For you as an alternate, this is going to be governed by SI, which is what has happened in the past and the organization of the best things. You're not very good at this one either. I know it seems terrible because we start from the bottom and it works its way up to the stuff you're good at. You're better at this than you are at your trickster stuff, but you like really well to, you feel responsible for all of the new experiences. That's in your crown. That's the SE. And because of that, you have a hard time narrowing down in the SI the best experiences. You have a hard time choosing the best thing. Like, when the new iPhone comes out, when a new video game comes out, you don't really know if it's the best one. You just know that there's a new experience. You're not very good at remembering the past. You're not very good at organizing things. But anyway, what you're looking at, this feeds your other spots. So your physical job that you are currently employed in or not, depending on your situation, is fed by this. What you want to create in your life, it's fed by this too. What you want to manifest in your life gets its fuel from here. What you want to communicate in your life gets its fuel from here. And so what you've got right here in your fuel slot is take a little time for some understanding. This is the Page of Cups. Again, cups are about emotional connections. Pages are about understanding. Just like the 6 is an understanding, the page is an understanding as well. And you've got it in the reverse, which means that you don't have the understanding yet. If this was upright, you have an understanding about an emotional connection. Because it is in the reverse, the current situation is that you need an understanding about an emotional situation. And that's going to be clarified with actions that can be taken with the Emperor. Now, the Emperor is a 6 card. 6s are about overcoming and growth, right? So you are not overcoming and growth. This is just before the culmination of the first path. This is tied to it's the Queen of Pentacles. And so this is a nurturing energy when he is standing tall. This is the divine masculine in his nurturing state, not in his aggressive state, in his nurturing state. Yes, divine masculine does have a nurturing state. And so he is seated in the throne of authority. There's some heads attached to it that can be a negative connotation. It's not necessarily. But he is sitting here with his scepter of change, and he is fully in authority, right? You are not. Right? This is a little bit less of that. You have here, there's an understanding that you need to reach right now, and this is a not nurturing, so this is kind of a come out of your comfort zone. If this was standing tall, you're already taking the correct actions, right? This is leading to the nurturing spirit. You've overcome the challenge. You're not quite ready for the harvest. You're nurturing things. But it's in the reverse. And the reverse is going to say spend less time nurturing, right? There's an understanding about an emotion, and it's got a little bit to do with less nurturing of someone else, probably. Next, we're going to be moving into the heart, and the heart is the area of manifestation, and it ties together the as above and the as below. As greed and charity are his primary areas of responsibility, so you may be clinging to the things a little bit too much. You may be giving away the things a little bit too much. Neither one of those are particularly good. The The greed is tied to the mortal coil, the as below trinity. The charity is tied to the as above trinity. That is clinging a little bit to either one. Neither one of them are particularly good. You're meant to have some things, but not all of the things. You're supposed to give away some things, but not all of the things. For you, this is going to be governed by future feelings and ethics, other people's feelings, how other people have felt or will feel about the situation, and what the ethics are. Morals are what you have decided is correct. Ethics is what the tribe has decided is correct. They don't necessarily correlate. And here you're going to have a little bit of a hard time understanding what the ethics of the tribe is. Right? You know what your morals are flawlessly, but you're not so sure why the tribe acts in the ways that they do. You understand their rationale a little bit, less about the ethics of the situation. Now, your current situation is that you are currently overcoming some regret. This is a 9 card. A 9 card is about a choice. It is a swords card, and swords are soul, air, thought, intellect, and communications. So there may be a communication that you are regretting. There may be, not regretting, right? It's in the reverse. When it is standing tall, this is the PTSD card. That's what I call it because it is past regrets. He is making a choice. It is due to his past regrets. He has eight swords of victory and his sword down here. That makes 9. And the 8 on the wall are people that he has defeated, and he is not happy about that. Most PTSD is not about the situation. It's how you have reacted to the situation. And he's not happy with the way that he acted in order to win all of these swords. This is the secondary path, the path of thoughts, mastery of thoughts. This is the step in that direction, right? You have realized with the 8 the higher level of thought mastery. This is making the choice about that, but you have regrets because you have not acted appropriately in the past. Now, in the reverse, this is less of that energy. It's not necessarily a negative. It is more of a hesitancy, right? This, when it's standing tall, is you regretting some things. This is you understanding why you regret things. The shadow work is really not just acknowledging that it happened, but understanding the root causes behind why it happens. So this is you digging in and finding out why you have regrets. This is you without those regrets. This is you progressing forward on the path of the thoughts, the higher path of understanding. This is you progressing on that path without the regrets, right? This is probably the most positive connotation for this card. It's in the heart, the area of manifestation, with no regrets. And clarifying with action that can be taken, you got the Lover's card. A divine union, again. This again is in a positive light. It is standing upright. This is a divine union. It can be sexual, but it doesn't have to be. It can be business related. There is the spirit of cooperation in an employment situation. And so this again is implying you don't have these regrets. It's okay to move forward, right? You don't have regrets about a past relationship. It's okay to get into a new one. You don't have regrets about the way that you have acted in the past. It's okay to have new relationships, right? That's what I'm getting here. And that's what you're manifesting in your life is a new relationship. Like what you want to manifest in your life, which is what the sacral is a partnership, a divine partnership from the Lovers. The steps that you can take right now in your heart is a partnership. There is definitely a spirit of cooperation here, a new understanding of an emotion yet to unfold. This might be the one, right? You might be meeting the soulmate. And I don't use that word lightly, right? Too many people throw around soulmate like it's the only choice. It's not. There are multiple soulmates. You just might get lucky enough to meet one of them and to recognize who that is. That's this energy, right? This is actually realizing, oh, well, maybe this person is for me. That's some beautiful stuff. Next, we're going to move to the area of communication. This is the throat. It deals with pride and humility. So you may be taking too much credit for work. You may be giving away too much credit for work. Neither one are intrinsically good, right? You are meant to take pride in your activities. If you do them well, you're not meant to think that you're better than other people because you do something well. For you, this is going to be governed by NI, which is the best possibility and guidance. Remember we said that you didn't see all the options, and that leads to you not making the best decisions? this is you not making those best decisions, right? It is the throat, it's the fourth slot down. You get 50 to 60% reception here, or 60 to 50. And so it's fairly good reception, but it's not perfect. You have a tendency to miscommunicate in this area, and for you, that is the best possibility. So even if you see the best possibility, you have a hard time describing it, letting other people know that. What you have here is a little bit of come out of isolation. The hermit, when he is standing tall, he's got all the knowledge. He has the light of the world in his hand, all of the knowledge contained. He is the wise man on top of the mountain that other people seek out. He is fully in his power. It is fully realized magician, right? Now, this is a 9 card, and 9s are going to be about a choice, right? You have this 9 choice here. This is not active, right? It is reversal, so you're not making an active choice about a communication, but this is allowing yourself to actually communicate. If it is standing tall, this is remove yourself from the crowd, go into isolation, enter into hermit mode, get all of the information so that you can make the choice. Now that it is upside down, this is a come out of your shell, meet new people, engage, right? And it is in communication, so you might have to be the one to start the communications. And yeah, you don't like that either. But clarifying that with some steps that can be taken, we have a choice card. This is 2 choices in the area of communication. They are both in the negative. Maybe you are not meant to make a choice. This is a choice about an emotional connection, right? That is a cup. You have this not understanding yet, need some more information for it. This appears to be a reiteration, right? This is don't make a rash choice. Don't make a remove yourself from isolation, right? That is what this is. Don't make a choice related to a communication. That's what this is. This is, when it is standing tall, this is another one of the marriage cards. When this is standing tall, this is equal partnership. It is like the Lovers to a much lesser degree. And so, in a way, you have lovers, 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 which is interesting. But it's not the marriage card. That would be the Lovers. And it's in reverse. So this is a communication in the communication slot. Maybe there's a little bit of pride going on, right, with the hermit energy. You have the knowledge. I am better than you because I have the knowledge. That is a prideful thing. That's not necessarily correct, but it can be because of the placement. And this is not cooperating. This is not making the choice of the emotional connection. This is not. All right. Now, what we have, the right-hand path is linked, and you have an understanding and not making a choice. And then you have the 4, which is not having an understanding, not having an understanding, not making a choice, not making a choice. They're probably related. There's probably some more information. Now, this choice can be you being too prideful to allow the connection of the Lovers. That is definitely a thing with the hermit energy. Your current energy is you need to come out of isolation. That is a little bit of a prideful thing. And so this can be you not allowing the relationship to unfold even though you really want it, right? These past regrets that you don't really have that you need to let go of, that is not making a choice as well, right? This is a 9 in reverse too. And so there's a whole lot of energy of not making an active choice. Maybe the choice has already been made. Maybe you don't need to make a new choice. Maybe you just need to let it unfold. Next, we're going to move to the area of the third eye, and that's where you envision your future. You put it into play with your sacral. You manifest it in your heart, but you envision it right here. This is your thoughts, your hopes, and your dreams. This is what you want in your life. This is the area that's going to deal with sloth and diligence. Are you working towards those dreams? Do you just expect them to materialize with no effort? That's not going to happen. You have to work actively towards your goals. For you in particular, the third eye is going to be governed by rationale, which is other people's thinking, the TE. What other people think about the situation is how you're going to make your decisions. You're not good with the logic. We talked about that in the sacral. And so you have a tendency to allow the experts to guide you. And that's not always a bad thing, but sometimes the experts aren't right. I mean, we have seen in the recent history that sometimes the experts get it exactly wrong. And so while it is good to rely on good information from people who spend their time studying it, the problem with that is that most experts are not entirely read up in their own field. That is particularly true for gynecologists. Like, most gynecologists do not understand endometriosis at all. The new research recommends that you handle the situation in a whole different way than it has ever been done before. And none of the current gynecologists have that understanding. And I'm using this specifically because it is related to me personally in my home life. Right? There is a method of doing it, but they just don't understand that. Right? That's what this is. Like, you have a tendency to rely upon the experts, but sometimes they get it wrong. And if they're getting it wrong, you're getting it wrong too. And if you get it wrong because you were listening to the experts, you're going to get extremely defensive over that. You're going to be like, no, this doctor told me this. Yeah, well, the doctor didn't know what he was talking about. Sure, he went to school. He spent a lot of time and money to get knowledge. But once he got out of school, there was still some more knowledge to get, and he's not picking it up now. And so he can't relay the good information because he doesn't have it. And because he doesn't have it, you can't get it. That's going to cause problems in your life. You should work on your logic chain. What you have and what you want to create in your life is understanding on a great level, right? This is a 4 card, which is an understanding card. This is the divine masculine card, which is stepping into your full authority. This is becoming the magician in very real ways. This is tied to the 4 of, or the page of pentacles. So it's an understanding of the earthly path. This is, he is seated in a position of authority. He's got the rod of change in his hand. He has the crown upon his head. Like, this is an overall excellent energy. And you've got it twice on opposite ends in opposite directions, right? This one is telling you that you don't need some understanding about the current situation, that you need more understanding, or you're not getting the understanding that you need to understand. This is the understanding there. This is you knowing what to do. This is related to the spiritual side of things. This one is related to the physical side of things. This is more on the emotional side. This is thoughts and dreams, hopes and aspirations, right? What you want in your life. And it is all of the good things. You want understanding. Now, how do you reach that understanding? By understanding. Isn't that wild? This is a 4 of Pentacles. This is a 9 of, or a 10 of Pentacles, no, an 11 of Pentacles, right? This is the equivalent of the page. And so this is the 4. This is another iteration of that. This is the clarification of the Page of Pentacles in the higher tarot path. And this is the lesser step of that, right? This is the same thing on a different level. So in order to reach to this one, you need this one, right? In order to get this understanding, you need this understanding. And so in order to fully realize the things that you want to bring into your life, there is some more understanding to happen, and it is happening. It is related to the earthly path. It's probably related to this deprivation a little bit and this sense of cooperation. That's going to bring us into the crown, and the crown is where you interpret what the divine is telling you. You get a message from the divine, it comes through your crown, and you feel responsible for giving it to everyone. For you in particular, this is going to be current things and exploration. You like to do new things. You like to have new experiences. You like to have all of the new shiny toys. Not necessarily the best ones, but the new ones. This is the area that deals with hope and despair. Are you hoping beyond hope, making alchemical gold? Or are you choosing depression even though everything is unfolding in the right ways? Yes, people do choose a depression. What we have in your current situation is a new thought manifesting in your life. There is something, a greater understanding that is happening. This is swords. Swords is soul, air, thought, intellect, and communication. So this can be a brand new communication. This is in the divine message. So maybe you are getting a message from the divine that is brand new today. This is understanding. So maybe you are reaching that understanding that has been so lacking so far. Right? This is current energy. So there is something new being presented to you from the divine related to an idea or a communication. Now, clarifying that, what we have is another ace, right? This is the one of the arcana. This is a major arcana. This is the first one. Well, and not counting the fool, which is the 0. This is realizing that there is a magical path. This is realizing, oh look, I can do, right? This is the equivalent of an 8 of Pentacles. This is the clarification for the 8 of Pentacles. The 1 through 7 of the Pentacles path is working a basic job, right? You realize, hey, I've got to provide for myself. I've got to do something, right? That is realization. That is the ace. The 2 is, well, here I'm going to make my choice. And then 3, you learn about it. 4, you understand it. 5, you reach the challenge. 6, you overcome it. 7, you reach your harvest. And then what do you do with the harvest? You invest it in a new path, a higher path, more, right? It is, I've collected all of these seeds. I'm going to plant a bigger garden. That's what this is. It is a reinvestment into more. This is the realization that you are a magician, and you're not quite there, right? There is a little bit still that you need to understand for this presentation of this idea. But what we have here in your crown, the current idea, this is a new path about an idea or a communication. This is a new path on the earthly plane of a higher level that you are not realizing yet. This is what you need to do, and maybe that means that in order to take advantage of this, then you're going to have to back off a little bit, right? The magician is standing in his power. When this is standing upright, he is crowned with eternity. He has one hand lifted towards the heavens with his wand of change, the as above. He has one hand pointed down to the as below, bringing them into accordance. He has all of the magical implements arrayed on the altar in front of him. He is fully prepared to walk the path. This is you less prepared to walk the path. This is stepping into the full authorship of your manifestation powers. This is a little bit less of that energy. There is still a little bit more presenting itself, right? This is the current energy unfolding, what you need to do. This is the current energy as it stands. So you are being presented with a new thought and a new idea, a new communication. But this is telling you that you need to not be in the authority position for that, right? You need to, like we have here, the not getting the understanding. We have over here not getting the understanding, or not doing the nurturing, right? Not having the regrets. This is a not stepping into the authority, right? This is not assuming the position of authority. Now, because you have the lovers, and the lovers, right? Possible relationship. Maybe you have a tendency to be a little overbearing in relationships, and this is telling you to consider it to be an equal partnership. And if you come to the realization of that, maybe you can manifest some things. And that is only because of the heavy lover energy, right? If it was a different energy, we would be talking about something different that you needed to enact. But because there is so much interpersonal relationship dealing here, it does lead me to think that maybe you need to back off just a little bit, right? Less of a prideful stance. And then finally, we're going to get into the divine, and that is a direct message to you. It is not colored by any of the virtues and vices, but for the ISFP alternate, this is going to be the FI, which is what I feel about the situation. What have I felt about this? What morals have I extracted from it? Morals are what you have decided is the correct action. Ethics is what the tribe has decided is the correct action, and they do not have to be in accordance. What the divine is telling you is that there is a challenge in your life, but it is not necessarily overbearing, right? Well, maybe it is. When this is standing tall, the Five of Wands is about rising to meet the challenge of the change. This is going out and defending yourself. This is mutual combat. Everybody in this is fully engaged of their own agreement, but they are all fighting. There is no rest in this. It is a challenge currently unfolding. Some of the other ones, the challenge has already happened, and one of them it is coming. This is in the middle of it, right? This is saying in the reverse that there is a challenge, or else it would be a different card, but this is a don't rise to the challenge, right? We have here, don't step into your authority, don't reach an understanding, right? This is a a more of a humble position, right? This is more of a less of a mutual combat, more of a somebody attacking you, less of a defensive posture, more of a attacking, right? This is mutual combat. This is everybody working together to figure out who's the best one. It is a challenge, but it's not like I'm trying to kill someone, right? It's mutual combat. This is a little more serious, right? This is you defending yourself with a little bit less of an equal participation, or not defending yourself and just letting the challenge unfold. Now, clarifying what steps that can be taken is the Page of Cups in the obverse. You have it down here in the reverse, telling you that you do not have this understanding of the emotional connection. This is telling you what you need is the understanding of the mutual connection. The page staring into the cup, contemplating the emotions, understanding what is going on. Now, if we take these two cards together, what we're looking at is you need more of an understanding about the emotional situation for a little bit less conflict. That conflict is probably what's holding up the lover situation, this communication that you're not having correctly, not getting right. This is kind of telling you that if you reach this emotional understanding about somebody else, you don't really understand the ethics, you might need to do that. If you reach that understanding with somebody else, then this challenge is not that hard, right? If it was standing upright, it's engaged, doing it. If it is in the reverse, it is either just about over or it's not you happening. You do have an active energy in this read, so I am being led more towards the challenge will be less and more overcomable if you've reached this emotional understanding. That's going to bring us to the end of the reading. Hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion. If you like what I'm doing over here, let me know down below. Give me a like, a share, a follow. Throw me a comment if you agree or disagree with anything that was stated. Put it in the box down below, and if it remains respectful, it gets to remain up. If you really like what I'm doing over here, hit me with that super thanks. Consider joining for a membership or picking up a copy of my book where I teach you to do magic responsibly and MBTI the right way. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt's Take. Peace.